Alright, so today we'll be talking about linear inequalities. And linear inequalities are just what happens if we had y equals mx plus b, but instead of having the equals in the middle, we have something that looks like this. Y is greater than mx plus b, or y is less than or equal to mx plus b. So we need to just talk about the symbols and what they mean. So this is greater than or equal to, and this means it is a solid line, okay, shaded above, because we're talking about the two-dimensional plane, okay. Alright, let me see, what is the other symbol? 2, 4, 3. Less than or equal to it is a solid line shaded below. Okay. Greater than, this is greater than, it is a dotted line shaded above, and less than is going to be less than dotted line shaded below. Okay, something simple as that. Okay, alright, and so I'm in Desmos right now, so just make sure you're in this form. Now when you're typing it out, you need to do shift and then the period key, and you're probably going, wait, there's no key for that. Well, there is. All you have to do is type in the greater than symbol, then type equals right next to it, and now you have greater than or equal to. Alright, and when you type it, 3x plus 2, you have a line that intercepts the y-axis at 2, and it has a slope of 3. Alright, and so as you can see, the point 1 comma 5 should definitely be on there because I'm going up 3 and over 1. Okay, and everything's shaded above that. Okay, so that one's pretty darn simple. Okay, now if I had y is greater than 2, okay, once again, it is just shaded above. Oops, let's go backspace. There we go. Alright, so the more stuff I add in here, you know, the more it changes and everything. Now, if you wanted to change it, like you're going, oh man, I didn't want to do that, I wanted to do just greater than. Just go right next to the symbol, press backspace, and now you have your dotted line. Okay, now what that dotted line means and represents is that all these points on this line are not part of the answer. Okay, whereas this one, all of these points, when it's a solid line, all of the points on the solid line are also included in the answer, and that includes the y-intercept. Okay, so the y-intercept is part of the answer. Over here it isn't. Now, how do we test that out? You could actually type in the point into the inequality and see if you get a true or false statement. So if we type it in, we type in 2 is greater than 3 times 0 plus 2. Oops, let's get rid of that. Okay. Now, as you can see, that is 2 is greater than 0 plus 2. And as you guys can already tell, that's not a true statement because 2 is not greater than 2. 2 is equal to 2, so that's an issue. However, if I put in an equal sign, and then I do the same thing here, let's get rid of that. Boom. Okay. This one, I have 2, alt 2, 4, 2. I can actually test it out and see if it has a true statement or not, and that's actually true. Okay. Whereas if I put it right here, false. So wow, another aspect of Desmos that's totally awesome. Okay. Alright, so when you guys are graphing this stuff, just work with it there. If you'd like to change colors, hold down and click on the button and change the color to whatever color you want. Obviously, there's only 6 choices to work with here, but you know, I'd prefer darker colors when working on this stuff. Okay, now what does this mean? Let's talk about it. We know how to do it. We know how to graph it now. We know what the implication is. That means all of these coordinate points, -4, comma 0, if I type them in. Okay, what's another one? Let's go -2, comma 3. All of these points in here are answers that will fulfill this inequality. Okay, so you have to be thinking about the entire shading as your answer. So when you're working with linear inequalities, this entire shading portion is your actual answer. Okay, right? Now, even if I put in and say, oh, let's get rid of that lesson, that equal sign, these points still work because they're on the inside. However, points like this one right here, or this one down here, which is -2, comma -4, those are not answers that fulfill this part. So all of the answers, and this is what is called the boundary line. Okay, this line right here, the boundary line is not included in the answers for right here. Whereas if I put an equal sign right there, the boundary line is now part of the answers, including all of the points in here. Okay, so be very careful with how you read these answers and just work with them. But guys, this is really easy stuff, and we're going to get to some really cool stuff by the end of this semester. So hold on to your hats. I'll talk to you later.